Hi guys, welcome to another Feedback Friday. I haven't done a book review in a long time. So today I'll review two of my favorite books that were released this week. See you after the intro. Hi, I haven't used my mustaches in a long time. Some of you might not even know what that is, so I'll link my video here and on description below with my rating systems. And before I get into the books and my review, and I'll try to be short today, try being the word, I just want to take a moment to appreciate the covers, okay? And I'll give you a tip as we do that. So I'll be reviewing All's Well by Mona Awad. Like, look at those colors, beautiful. And this one, I don't usually like gold, but gold and black, it was done so beautifully in this. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. And those are both books that were released this week on Tuesday, August 3rd. And I'll give you a pro tip. I got these two books last Friday. Oh, it was before the release date. How did you do that? Well, I don't know. I think all libraries do that. Libraries, in case you didn't know, they get the books a week in advance of the release date. So they can put them in the system and things like that. And if a book has a long wait list, like all of these obviously do, they will, the Friday before the release date, they start calling people to come pick up the books. So what I do with my library holds is, as soon as I know a book is going to be released that I like, I start looking for it on my library website and I place a hold. As soon as I know, even if the book has not been released. And in some of the books, like these two, I lucked out and I was the first person to put in a hold, so I got them last week. Pro tip for you. So whenever you see a book that you like, even if it hasn't been released, go in your library and see if you can put a hold, because you might get it earlier, or at the very least you don't have to be the 72nd person in line like I was for One by One. Yeah. So it's good to read these books. I will be purchasing both of them. I have pre-ordered, but until I get them, this is what it is. So pro tip out of the way, I will start with All's Well by Mona Awad. I read Bunny, and even though I thought that was a great book, it was a bit confusing, and I think it was too visual for me. That meaning that it is a story, and the way it was told, I would have preferred to have watched it with my eyeballs rather than with my mind eyes, because I think it's a book that relies a lot of like ensemble expressions. You know, when you can see everyone, different people have different expressions, and it's very non-verbal. At least that's how I read it. But All's Well is the complete opposite of it. It is a great book. It is, I've talked about it a few times, but it basically tells the story of Miranda. She's someone who's struggling in life, really. Her marriage fell apart. Her body hurts. She can barely move. Nobody believes she's in the pain that she is. She went from being like this great actress, and due to her pain, she's basically left out, and the only acting she can get done is through her students. So she is a college theater director, and she's at her wit's end. She doesn't want to live anymore, and then she decides that she's going to put All's Well That Ends Well, the Shakespeare play, as her production, because that was her best moment in life. She played Helen, and she really needs to relive that. She is looking for that, to have a renewed, will to live, basically. things start going to even more shit because her students decide they don't want to do that because it's not that good. They want to do Macbeth instead. And it gets to the point that they all get together and they decide they are going to do Macbeth. With a mutiny in hand, she doesn't know what to do, and she goes to this bar one day, and then she meets 3 strange men, and things get bizarre from there. They promise her that they can give her everything that she wants. Her pain can go away. She can get the play that she wants. And that her students can, you know, get a taste of their own medicine. And that's fine. I don't think she knows what she's getting into, and it goes from there. What I'll say about this book, it was fantastic. Miranda is the main narrator. It did take him a while. It took me a while to get into it because the book is basically told in first person, and Miranda is a little bit all over the place, so it took me a while to get into her narrative. Sorry about the light. To get into her narrative, but once I did, that was great. And she is someone like, her mind is all over the place. She's so anxious, and it's not really a great mind space to be in. Usually with books like that, I put it down a couple of times and take a break because I can't be in their mind space. But she's so compelling, so engrossing. She is a fantastic character, so I just needed to keep reading. It's like her mind is Pandora's box, and you keep pulling all these bad things, and you hope that hope is like that flicker of life at the end, and you just want to get to that. So that's why you browse through. You need to get to that because you believe it has to be there. I'm not going to spoil the book, but I think I had a lot of fun being in her head. All the characters are really amazing, and the way that she, Awad, was able to basically pay a beautiful homage to Shakespeare's All's Well That Ends Well in Macbeth. The main things in the plot of those books is woven through here, but in a completely fresh and original way. It's really amazing. I really enjoyed it, and the atmosphere, like I said, you really can't help by being in her head, and in her head is really angst. And the third act, you know, the craziness you got from Bunny, if you read it, that's all in the third act, but it worked. I felt like I was going crazy, but it was amazing. It was heart-pounding. It was a great, I know this book is not going to be for anyone, but I beg you to give it a chance because it was really, really great. And with all that said, let's go for my mustaches, shall we? For enjoyability, I gave, sorry, I know that now you can hear the neighbors, but it's children playing. I enjoy the sounds of summer. But for enjoyability, I gave an 8 out of 10 mustaches, only because, like I said, it took me a while to get into her mind space and then the way this story was told. For characters, ambiance, fairness, and plot, I gave it 10 out of 10 mustaches because I really can't fault. I was all down for that. I love the way Awad told the story. And for execution, I gave a 9 out of 10 mustaches. Only because of what I said. It was hard to get into her head in the beginning, but I can't, at the same time, I can see this book being told in third person on any other way, which brings my total rating to 4.75 mustaches. And just so you guys know, I have my full review on my blog, and they will be linked down below. You can check that out. Next, I have In My Dream I Hold a Knife by Winstead. This is a debut novel, and oh my god, this girl is going places. You guys know that I love academia books, dark academia mystery especially, and this one hit all the spots. This is dark academia done right. I think the one thing that if I was to give like a brief review and compare this to something you would get, she brings in the atmosphere of Donna Tartt's in The Secret History, and she makes unlikable characters like Lucy Foley. I mean, the guest list is full of unbelievable, unlikable characters that you hate them as people, but you love them as characters. And this is exactly, basically, with all the characters here, that is very true. All of them are unlikable. And our main narrator in this book is Jessica, and she is someone that you just, like, she's just pickable, but you understand her of why. You understand that her meanness is coming out of place of sadness, and you just want to get the little girl that happiness back into her life, and you know she's going to be a great person. I'm getting ahead of myself. What is this story about? Well, in this book we have 6 friends: Jessica, Jack, Heather, Caro, Mint, and Frankie. I'm horrible with characters' names, so I do have to look that up. And they are friends that meet in this Ivy League university. They come from different walks of life, but somehow they find each other, and they are those people that walk around campus like the world revolves around them. Not because they force it to, they are not like really mean people, they're just really into each other and people want to be it. So they are the it group. And their life is really good, and they live their lives until on their senior year. Close to the end of it, tragedy happens. Heather is brutally murdered. Jack, her boyfriend, is suspected, but there is not enough evidence, so the police lets him go, but everybody else will always have that shadow of a doubt. And because of this shared things and a few things that happen after graduation, they just kind of fall apart. Jessica feels like she's always been second best, and she has a lot to prove to everyone. So when they get an invite for a reunion, 10-year reunion of the class, she decides to go, and she has this plan in her head that she's going to go there and she's going to rub on everybody's face how she's doing great now, and she can't wait to have her moment, for her to feel like she's first place and to show to everyone that make her feel like second best that she's the boss bitch now. Okay? That's her plan. But her plan goes to shit because someone else has second intentions over there. They knew that one of them had to be the one that killed Heather. And they were gonna find out who before the weekend was over. And with that, we get to find out, and then we have like a dual timeline of the present but also the past. And in the past, we get to know more about each character. So even though Jessica is our main POV, Winstead did a great job that when it's organic to the plot, she would bring in the past, the POV of someone else, so you get their thoughts and feelings and perspective firsthand. And I really appreciate that choice that she made. It made the book so enjoyable, and it was just perfect. And with that, we get to find out that every single one of those people were not what they first seemed, and they all had secrets. And one way or another, they would go to different extents not to let people know what their secrets are. And their perfect 4 years together start to crumble. And did one of them actually kill Heather? You're gonna have to read to find out. But honestly, if I was to ask you for a favor, is to please support this person, read this book. It's amazing. And I don't know, like, I don't want to promise that you're going to like it, but I think if you like most of the books that I recommend, you're going to love this one. And you guys know how I feel about playing fair, and this plot was tight. It was also well-paced and delivered to near perfection. Maybe I have my pink goggles on because you know me, when I like something, it's like, I like something and I really like this. And there's just, this was not a 5-star for me. And again, it has to do with the mood I feel in. There's just one character that I was so invested in. I wish their development arc had ended, or their story arc had ended differently, because I do feel that they deserved better. But you know what? That's real life, right? Not everybody gets what they deserve, and I guess the kids next door agree with me. But this was it. The only thing that kept me from giving 5 stars is that I liked the character too much, but it wasn't my story, right? And just 2 more things about this book before I jump to my rating is, I usually read the beginning of the book. I read every page, including this part. I don't know how you call it in English, but where you have all the information. In this right here made the whole book for me. Usually books, because they rely on some plot to depend on twists or triggers or things like that, they do not tell you what the trigger is. But this one has in bold letters, content warning, contains physical and sexual violence. I don't know if this was Ashley's choice or if it was the publisher's choice. This one is HarperCollins, but I haven't seen this in another HarperCollins books. But whoever fought for that, I really, really, really appreciate it, because physical abuse and sexual abuse is such a trigger to some people that even though it was treated beautifully and with respect in this book, and it wasn't graphic at all, I feel that just the fact that there's this contact warning, so you can go in knowing what you might get into and make the choice for yourself, I think every book should do that. That made it for me. Because, I mean, as someone, this book shows you that whoever edited the last draft cares about the reader, and I think Ashley might have had something to do with it, because I haven't seen it in any other books, and I appreciate that. I mean, am I alone in this? It's the little things, right? And just my other thing that I really appreciated in this book as a nutshell is because not only did she nail the dark academia, she nailed the feeling of being that age when you know these are the best years of your life. And I saw a lot of myself in these characters, only I'm not mean like they were, but I had this group of friends, and I remember being in university and how I felt the world belonged to me and I could just experiment and be, and there were people that wanted to be part of my group, I'm not gonna lie, but they were always included, and it was not on purpose. I didn't exclude people on purpose. It's like I completely relate to this feeling of living your best life. And she brought this in amazingly. And not only that, it's always the little things. She finished each chapter on a hook. It's like, you know, John Mars, how he has a perfect hook at the end of each chapter. So even though you don't have time, you have other things to do, you can't help but keep reading. Ashley Winstead did that too. Because every chapter just ended in a way that, you need to read to find out more. And it wasn't just a few chapters. It was every chapter. I can't wait for her next book, because if this is her first book and is this well written, like, she's one to watch. Just telling you that. Okay, so for this book, I gave enjoyability and execution a 9. Okay, and the reason why I gave 9 to both was partially, very partially, maybe half a point, because of what I said about the character that I thought I deserved better. But I respect is the author's choice to do with their characters whatever they do. But again, I'm a reader. And the other one was just because, even though she did a really good job of situation how life on an American campus work, and I could understand most of it, I was still confused about a few things, such as residence and sorority and things like that. I'm not gonna get into it, but I was still a little confused. She took you like 90% of the way there, but those 10% only make sense for Americans. And do I expect her to have explained everything to everyone? No, because this is not a lecture of how life on campus works. So did it take away from the plot? Absolutely not. But I took it away because as a non-American, I still had some doubts about how life on campus works. But again, this is me nitpicking because it really had nothing to do with the plot. You'd enjoy it even as well. Which leaves, so characters, ambiance, fairness, and plot, I gave 10 to all of them. So obviously this is a great book. Which brings my total rating of In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife to 4.83 mustaches. Oh well, that was what I had for my Feedback Friday. Thank you so much. I hope you liked my not so short review of In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead and All's Well by Mona Awad. Let me know down below your favorite reads this week. And until next time, be the hummingbird.